So every single second, millions of cells inside your body are making this huge decision. Is it time to divide, or should I hold off? It's a process that's so fundamental to life, we just don't think about it. But when it goes wrong, well, the consequences are massive. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on this incredible masterpiece of biological control, the cell cycle.
Let's just start with a simple, but honestly a pretty chilling question. What if just one single cell out of trillions completely forgot how to stop? What if it just kept dividing and dividing and dividing with no off switch? Well, there's a name for that scenario. It's called neoplasia. And at its core, it's the disease of cell division gone wild. You see, this isn't some virus or bacteria attacking from the outside. This is a breakdown in the rule book that's supposed to be governing our very own cells.
But you know, our bodies are absolutely brilliant. To stop that exact kind of chaos from ever happening, they have this incredibly elegant system in place, a built-in blueprint for division. And that's the star of our show today, the cell cycle. So what is it exactly? Well, to put it simply, the cell cycle is the series of events a cell goes through to meticulously copy everything inside itself, especially its DNA, and then split into two perfect, identical new cells. I mean, this is the engine of growth, of repair. It's the engine of life itself. Now, this whole thing isn't just one quick event. Oh no, it's a journey, a carefully choreographed dance with very distinct phases. So come on. Let's follow a single cell as it makes its way through this amazing biological assembly line.
All right, before we get to the main event, the actual split, there's this long and absolutely vital preparation period. All these prep stages together are called interphase, and this is where all the hard work happens. The cell grows, it copies its DNA, and it makes sure everything, and I mean everything, is perfect.
So let's break down that assembly line. First up, we've got the G1 phase. Think of this as the cell just bulking up, growing, and making copies of all its internal machinery. Next, and this is the big one, is the S phase. S is for synthesis. This is where the entire genetic blueprint, all 46 chromosomes, are perfectly replicated. After that, the cell enters the G2 phase. This is kind of like a final systems check. It grows a little more, gets all its proteins ready to go. And then, finally, we hit the M phase, mitosis. This is the grand finale, where the cell dramatically splits right down the middle into two brand new identical cells.
But here's something really interesting. Not every cell is constantly on this cycle. Some cells, like a lot of the neurons in your brain, actually exit the cycle completely. They enter this resting state called G0. They're not getting ready to divide, they're just off doing their specialized jobs. It's kind of like taking a permanent exit ramp off the cellular highway. Okay, so we've got this super complex process, right? How does the body make sure it all runs smoothly and doesn't just go haywire? Well, it has guardians, an incredibly sophisticated quality control system built right into the cycle itself. And these guardians, they operate at what are called checkpoints. Think of them like security checkpoints at an airport. The cell literally hits pause and scans itself for any errors, especially for damaged DNA. It's all about making sure that no faulty cells are ever allowed to be created. And that brings us to maybe the most important checkpoint of them all, the restriction point. It happens late in that first G1 phase, and it's basically the point of no return. Once a cell passes this point, that's it. It is 100% committed. There is no turning back. It is going to divide.
So, who's the chief inspector at these checkpoints? Well, let's meet one of the absolute heroes of this story, a protein called p53. And the best way to think of p53 is as the cell's emergency brake. Its job description is pretty critical. First, it's always on the lookout for damaged DNA. If it spots a problem, it immediately slams on the brakes, stopping the whole cell cycle in its tracks. That pause gives the cell time to call in the repair crews to fix the DNA. But, and this part is so important, if the damage is just too bad to be repaired, p53 makes the tough call. It triggers programmed cell death, what's called apoptosis, to make sure that damaged cell can never, ever divide. Okay, now let's meet another key player. This one is called the retinoblastoma protein, or just RB. Now, if p53 is the emergency brake, then RB is the main gatekeeper. It stands guard right at the transition from the G1 phase to that all-important S phase where DNA gets copied.
RB is basically a switch. It has two states. On the left, you see its active state. This is the stop signal. It physically blocks the cell from moving forward. But when the cell gets the all clear, other proteins come along and stick a phosphate group onto RB. That inactivates it, which you see on the right, and that simple action flips the switch to go, opening the gate and letting the cell cycle roll on. So, we've seen this beautiful, elegant system. We've met the guardians, keeping everything in check. But what happens when those guardians fail? And this brings us right back to where we started our story, the path to neoplasia.
This quote from the source material just nails the heart of the problem. If you get a defect, a mutation in the gene that builds our emergency brake, P53, the whole safety system can just collapse. The damaged protein is basically flying blind. It literally cannot see the damage anymore.
And the consequences of that one failure? They're catastrophic. With a broken P53, damaged DNA just sails right through the checkpoint. The emergency brake is never pulled. The cell cycle isn't stopped for repair. And instead, this faulty cell, with its corrupted blueprint, gets a green light to divide, making more and more and more damaged cells. This is exactly how that unchecked replication begins. I mean, when you really look at it this way, the cell cycle isn't just a process, it's a biological masterpiece. A masterpiece of control, with all these layers of security working to protect you every single moment of the day. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? What other microscopic guardians are on patrol inside you right this second, keeping your whole system in perfect balance?